friends. Today we're going to read a story. The title of our story is The Other Book of World Records. The Other Book of World Records. It's written by Taran Anderson and illustrated by Jeff Ebeler. So we know that the writer, the author, is Taran Anderson. And the person that drew all the colorful pictures is Jeff Ebeler. The focus question for this story is, how did Shorty get into the other book of world records? How did that happen? How did Shorty get into the other book of world records? The words that we need to know for this selection is announced, making, maze, pogo stick, records, wobbled. I think we're ready to hear about this story. Today we're getting into the other book of world records, Ruby told her brother. What's that? Shorty asked. Ruby held up a pad of paper. It's the record book I'm working on. The other book, she said. Just stand on one leg and say the ABCs, Ruby said. Shorty did just that. A, B, C, D, E, he began. A kid named Ben called over from the basketball court. What's going on here? He asked. He's setting a world record, Ruby said. Ben laughed. Anyone could do what he's doing, Ben said. Ruby tossed a piece of gum to her brother. Not while chewing gum, she said. Shorty popped the gum in his mouth. He blew a bubble. That's nothing. Let me get my pogo stick, Ben said. Ben dashed into the nearest apartment building and came back with his pogo stick. Try jumping on this with one leg, he said. Shorty picked up the pogo stick. Soon he was bouncing on one leg. Everyone from the playground came to watch. Oh, that's not so hard, Ben said. Let's see him jump through a human maze, Ben said. A what? Ruby asked. A maze made out of people, Ben said. Shorty bounced up and down on the pogo stick. Can I switch legs? He asked. Ben and Ruby both shook their heads. Call everybody you know, Ruby yelled. My brother is going to set a new world record, she announced. Inside a human maze, she added. Tell them to come quick, Shorty yelled. More people showed up. Ben lined them all up to form a maze. Shorty was sweating now. Still jumping, he started to move through the human maze. People cheered him on as he blew his biggest bubble. Shorty turned a corner in the maze. The pogo stick wobbled, but Shorty did not fall off. At the end of the maze, he leaped off the pogo stick. Shorty collapsed on the ground. A new world record! Ruby yelled. Everyone cheered. Not bad, Shorty, Ben said. Thanks, Shorty said. Now it's your turn to set a record, Shorty added. Ben looked shocked. Me? He gasped. Rudy winked at Shorty. Then Ruby yelled, Step right up to watch a new record in the making. the end. Now we have our glossary word. Announced. Told something to a group. Making. That's the act of forming or coming into being. Maze. A maze is a set of confusing pathways designed as a puzzle. Pogo stick. Pogo stick. That's a pole with handles at the top, a spring at the bottom, and 2 footrests on which a person stands to bounce up and down. Records. Events or achievements that have never been exceeded. And wobbled. Moving from side to side in an unsteady way. The other books of world records. I would like for you to do the social studies portion. Choose 5 records from Genius World Records. For each one, label on a map the country and where the record was set. Compare your map to a partner's. So I'm not asking you to label it on a map, but I do want you to write down the name of the country and the record that was achieved at that time. 5 different ones. Just label them on a paper. That's the end, friends. Thank you.